Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and the Merciful. Now today's main headlines. UN predicts 1 million Syrians to return after Assad's fall. Japan pledges $27.5 million in aid for Afghanistan amid worsening economic crisis. UN Health Agency says avian flu reported in 108 countries across 5 continents. Human Rights Watch raises concerns over Egypt's draft asylum law. Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, this is Hussein Jawad and you're watching Shia Waves live from Imam Hussein TV 3 in London. The United Nations has projected that around 1 million Syrians could return to their homeland in the first half of 2025, following the collapse of President Bashar al-Assad's regime earlier this month. The UNHCR's Middle East and North Africa Director, Rima James, Imisus, described the developments as a source of hope for resolving the world's largest displacement crisis. However, she cautioned that regime change does not end Syria's humanitarian challenges, urging host countries not to force refugees to return prematurely and to uphold their asylum rights. European countries are divided on the issue, with some freezing asylum claims amid growing pressure and far-right groups to deport refugees. Meanwhile, over 1 million Syrians have been newly displaced in the last 3 weeks, particularly women and children. James emphasized the need for a gradual and safe return process while assessing the risks faced by emerging vulnerable groups in Syria's new political landscape. Japan announced an additional $27.5 million in humanitarian assistance on Tuesday to support vulnerable Afghans amid the ongoing country's crisis, an economic and humanitarian crisis. The Japanese embassy in Afghanistan stated that the aid will be distributed through United Nations agencies, international organizations and Japanese NGOs to address urgent needs such as poverty, food insecurity and collapsing public services. This latest contribution brings Japan's total aid to Afghanistan since the Taliban's return to power in August 2021 to over $505 million. Humanitarian organizations have emphasized the critical importance of sustained international support to prevent worsening conditions for millions of Afghans. The UN Health Agency has reported that avian influenza, particularly the H5N1 strain, has affected 108 countries across 5 continents, resulting in the deaths of 300 million birds. Dr. Menhoor Diringa from the FAO noted that the virus has crossed species barriers, infecting more than 500 bird species and at least 70 mammalian species, including endangered animals like the California condor. In 2024, 76 human cases of H5N1 were reported, primarily among farm workers. With over 60 cases in the US, while the risk to the Republic remains low, it is assessed as low to moderate for those in close contact with infected animals. Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. UN predicts 1 million Syrians to return after Assad's fall. Japan pledges $27.5 million in aid for Afghanistan amid worsening economic crisis. UN Health Agency says avian flu reported in 108 countries across 5 continents. Also, tonight, 16th of Jumada al-Thani marks martyrdom commemoration of Ayatollah Sayyid Hassan Shirazi. Egypt's draft asylum law, approved by Parliament on November 19, 2024, has sparked criticism from human rights groups, including Human Rights Watch. Human Rights Watch said critics argue the law could undermine refugee rights, violate international agreements, and hinder the work of the UN Refugee Agency. The bill awaiting ratification by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi aims to regulate asylum and refugee affairs in Egypt for the first time. HRW raised concerns that the law would allow authorities to deny or withdraw asylum arbitrarily, impose vague obligations on refugees, and criminalize irregular entry and unofficial aid. The rights group also criticized the rushed approval process, which lacked consultation with civil society or UNHCR. The draft law shifts refugee management from UNHCR to a new national body, the Permanent Committee for Refugee Affairs. Critics fear the transition could disrupt services for over 845,000 refugees registered in Egypt. HRW said the law also narrows refugees' rights, with provisions restricting political activities and punishing violations with fines or imprisonment. While the law seeks to align with Egypt's commitments under the 1951 UN Refugee Convention, HRW called for revisions to close legal gaps and ensure compliance with international standards. And now we continue with some short news. Gunmen targeted polio vaccination teams in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province on Monday, resulting in the deaths of a health worker and 2 police officers. The violence occurred during a nationwide campaign aimed at combating the rising polio virus, which has seen 63 confirmed cases this year, a significant increase from 6 in 2023. The week-long house-to-house vaccination drive aims to immunize over 44 million children under 5. Aisha Reza Farouk, an advisor for the polio eradication program, urged parental cooperation to ensure children receive the vaccine. The World Health Organization identifies Pakistan and Afghanistan as the last countries where polio remains endemic. Insurgent attacks and misinformation about the vaccination efforts have hindered campaigns, leading to thousands of unvaccinated children. Since the 1990s, over 200 polio workers and their police escorts have been killed in Pakistan during vaccination efforts. The UK government has proposed a new copyright exemption, allowing artificial intelligence companies to train their models on copyrighted material unless creators opt out. The proposal, currently under consultation, has drawn criticism from creatives and publishers who argue it threatens their rights and livelihoods. Book publishers and campaigners condemn the plan, calling it untested and a giveaway of the £126 billion creative sector. The Publishers Association and News Media Association criticised the exemption, urging the government to ensure fair remuneration and transparency in AI's use of content. The government argues the exemption will resolve tensions between AI firms and creatives, encourage licensing, and offer creators new revenue streams. Critics warn that changes could erode creative control, with no clear safeguards for fair use or proper compensation for AI training on copyrighted material. Elon Musk hinted at the development of X-Mail, a potential competitor to Gmail and Apple Mail. Several online sources have confirmed the concept emerged during a recent interaction on X, where a user suggested X-Mail as a new feature. Musk confirmed it is on the list of to-do things, generating excitement among his followers. Currently, Apple Mail dominates the global email market with 53.67% share, followed by Gmail at 30.7%. Other players like Outlook, Yahoo Mail, and Google Android Mail hold significantly smaller shares. If launched, Xmail could leverage X's existing user base of over 600 million and Musk's innovative reputation. Supporters are eager for alternatives to major tech platforms, indicating a strong demand for a new mail service. A recent report by the International Organization for Migration reveals that 60% of internally displaced persons prefer to remain in their current locations rather than return to their communities of origin. The findings, part of the Progress 2024 report, highlight challenges faced by humanitarian and development partners in addressing internal displacement. Currently, over 58.5 million people are displaced within their own countries. The report is based on over 116,000 household surveys and 463 qualitative consultations across 12 countries. Notably, 96% of those displaced by disasters for more than 5 years wish to stay where they are. Economic opportunities also play a crucial role, as 25% of individuals displaced for over 5 years prioritized livelihoods, compared to 18% of those displaced for less than a year. The Progress Initiative aims to inform sustainable solutions for IDPs globally. A new long-acting preventive HIV drug developed by Gilead Sciences is anticipated to be available in the world's poorest countries by late 2025 or early 2026. The drug, currently approved for treating multi-drug resistant HIV in the US at a cost of approximately $42,250 per year, has shown promise in clinical trials for preventing infection. The organization emphasized the need for timely regulatory approvals from authorities like the FDA and the World Health Organization to ensure that low and middle-income countries are not left behind in access to these vital treatments. To facilitate this, the Global Fund plans to collaborate with the US President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief and other foundations to support affordable access from the outset, aiming to reach at least 2 million people within 3 years. The 16th of Jumada al-Thani marks the martyrdom anniversary of Ayatollah Sayyid Hassan Hussein Shirazi. He sacrificed his life in the pursuit of reviving the rights of the Ahlul Bayt and combating the injustices of contemporary governments for the sake of religious and Islamic ideals. More details in the following report.
Ayatollah Sayyid Hassan Hussein Shirazi, a prominent religious and scholarly figure of the 20th century, was martyred on May 1, 1980, corresponding to the 16th of Jumada al-Thani 1400 AH, in a terrorist attack orchestrated by agents of Saddam's regime in Lebanon. He was the son of Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Mehdi al-Husseini al-Shirazi and the brother of Grand Ayatollahs Sayyid Muhammad and Sayyid Sadiq al-Husseini al-Shirazi. Born in 1314 AH into a scholarly and religious family in Najaf al-Ashraf, he dedicated his early academic efforts to promoting the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them, and fighting against oppression and corruption in Islamic societies. After studying religious sciences in Karbala and Najaf, His Eminence emigrated to Syria and Lebanon to engage in political and social activities. During this time, he made extensive efforts to establish seminaries and scholarly associations in various countries, while also writing books and articles on diverse topics, including Islamic economics in response to the spread of anti-religious ideologies in the Islamic world. However, his most significant contribution to Islamic history was his relentless efforts to reconstruct the sacred graves of the Imams in Baqi and Medina. In his negotiations with Saudi officials, Ayatollah Sayyid Hassan Shirazi consistently advocated for the revival of these holy sites and the restoration of the dignity and honour of the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them, in Islamic society. Historical documents indicate that in 1971 and 1972, he exerted political and diplomatic pressure to secure the Saudi authorities' agreement for the reconstruction of Baqi. On May 1, 1980, corresponding to the 16th of Jumada al-Thani 1400, while intending to attend a memorial ceremony for Ayatollah Sayyid Muhammad Baqir Sadr in Lebanon, he was assassinated by two motorcyclists. In an interview, Khalid Abdul Ghaffar, Saddam Hussein's secretary, stated that Saddam personally ordered the assassination of Ayatollah Sayyid Hassan Shirazi. The martyrdom of Ayatollah Sayyid Hassan Shirazi dealt a significant blow to the scientific and religious movement in the Islamic world. He demonstrated through his sacrifice that the struggle for the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them, and the fight to restore the rights of Muslims is the greatest ideal. This is Aruj Fatima for Shia Waves.
Thank you for that report, Aruj Fatima. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves news. Let's remind our dear viewers of today's main headlines. UN predicts 1 million Syrians to return after Assad's fall. Japan pledges $27.5 million in aid for Afghanistan amid worsening economic crisis. UN Health Agency avian flu reported in 108 countries across 5 continents. Human Rights Watch raises concerns over Egypt's draft asylum law. 16th of Jumada Thani marks martyrdom commemoration of Ayatollah Sayyid Hassan Shirazi. You can view the latest news on our Shia Waves website and you can send news of your city or country to be published on news agency. Contact the numbers at the bottom of the screen. Thank you all for watching. We pray to Allah Almighty to hasten the European rest of the master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In the heart of London, Imam Hussein Media Group is on the brink of an extraordinary transformation. We are securing a new home, a sanctuary named after the Queen of Karbala, Lady Zainab Salamullahi alayhi, who commemorated Abi Abdullah al-Hussein and spread the message of Karbala. This new complex, spanning 515 square meters, will be the central hub for our 5 channels.